You made decent money this year, maybe even more than last year, but your savings account looks exactly the same. Look, you upgraded a few things, added a few subscriptions, bought stuff that felt necessary at the time. And now you're sitting here like, where did it all go? Here's the thing. There are people in Japan quietly building wealth on completely average incomes. No side hustles, no complicated investment strategy. Just 10 habits. Habits so simple, they almost sound boring. But the results? Um, Anything but boring. My name is Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about why some people build wealth quietly while everyone else stays stuck. If you're someone who works hard but feels like your money just disappears every month, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. Okay, so let's be real for a second. Most of us grew up with one idea about money. Work hard, earn more, spend more. That's just progress, right? You get a raise and suddenly the apartment feels too small. The car feels outdated. The wardrobe needs refreshing. And none of it feels like a mistake at the time. It feels like you're finally living the way you're supposed to. Here's the thing though. That feeling is exactly the trap. Because lifestyle grows faster than income, almost every single time. And nobody warns you about that when you're starting out. So you end up on this treadmill, earning, spending, earning a little more, spending a little more. And your savings just sit there, barely moving. That quiet anxiety about money, it doesn't go away just because your paycheck got bigger. It actually gets louder because now the lifestyle is bigger, the bills are bigger, and stepping back feels impossible. Look, I'm not saying you're irresponsible. Most people in this situation pay their bills on time, they avoid serious debt, they do the basics. But the basics aren't building wealth anymore. And that's exactly why these 10 Japanese habits are worth your attention. Because they don't ask you to earn more, they just ask you to think differently. And that shift is where everything changes. Here's what most people believe about wealth. They think it's an income problem. Make enough money and wealth just eventually happens. But Japan kind of breaks that idea completely. The average Japanese household income is actually lower than the average American household. And yet Japan consistently ranks among the highest personal savings rates in the developed world. Less income, more savings. How does that work? It works because wealth was never really about how much comes in, it's about the relationship you build with what comes in. And in Japan, that relationship is shaped by culture. There's a deeply rooted belief that spending quietly and saving intentionally is a form of respect. Respect for your future self, for your family, for the work it took to earn that money. That one mindset shift completely rewires how you behave with money. You stop asking, what can I afford right now? And you start asking, what is this actually worth to my future? Those two questions live in completely different universes. All right, let's get into the habits. And I want to start with the foundation. Habit 1 is Kakeibo. It's a budgeting method, but not like the apps you're used to. Kakeibo is done by hand in a notebook at the start of every month. You write down 4 questions. How much money do I have? How much do I want to save? How much am I spending? And how can I improve? That's it. No algorithm, no automation, just you sitting with your money on purpose. And here's why that matters. Writing by hand activates deeper cognitive processing than typing. When you physically write that you spent $340 on food and drinks outside the house, it lands differently. It feels real in a way that a phone notification just doesn't. Habit 2 is Mottainai. It's a Japanese word that means, what a waste. But it's deeper than frugality. Mottainai is a genuine feeling of regret when something of value gets wasted. Food, time, money, resources. Not guilt, not shame, just a quiet mindfulness about waste. And when that feeling becomes natural, you stop buying things you won't finish. You stop upgrading things that still work. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because waste genuinely starts to bother you. Habit 3 is Kaizen, continuous small improvement. Not dramatic transformation, not overnight change, just 1% better consistently. Applied to money, this means automating a small savings increase every single year. When you get a raise, route 30% of it directly to savings before it ever hits your spending account. You won't miss what you never saw. Save just $50 more per month than last month, consistently at 7% return over 30 years. That's over $60,000 in additional wealth from $50. Habit 4 is Ikigai. Ikigai means your reason for being, your purpose. Applied to money, it means spending intentionally on things that align with what actually matters to you. Not emotion-driven spending, not boredom spending, purpose-driven spending. When you know your Ikigai, random impulse purchases start feeling hollow because they don't connect to anything real. Habit 5 is harahachibu. It's a Japanese eating principle. Stop eating at 80% full. But financially, it means stop upgrading at 80% satisfied. Your current car still runs fine. Your apartment is comfortable enough. The 20% gap between good enough and perfect costs most people thousands every year. Let me make this real with a couple of examples. Meet Darnell. Darnell is 31, works in healthcare administration, makes about $54,000 a year. For years, he tracked nothing, had a rough idea of his bills, and winged it the rest. Sound familiar? He started Kakeibo, just a notebook, 15 minutes on the first of every month. First month, he discovered he was spending $510 on food and drinks outside the house. Not fancy restaurants, just lunch here, coffee there, a few delivery orders. $510. He set a goal of $300, hit $330, that's still $180 back in his pocket every month. $180 a month, $2,160 a year, without changing his job, without a side hustle. Now meet Simone. Simone earns more than Darnell, but somehow saves less because her lifestyle kept pace with every raise she ever got. She had 11 active subscriptions, a gym membership untouched since March, 2 streaming services she forgot about, a meal kit box she paused once and never actually canceled, $224 a month. She applied Mottainai and just sat with that number for a minute. $224 on things she barely used. She canceled 6 of them. That's $1,400 back per year. Found money, already earned, just invisible until she looked. Okay, let me stop here for a second, because this is where it gets really interesting. We've covered 5 habits so far, but here are 5 more, and these ones are more psychological than practical. And honestly, they might be the more powerful ones. Habit 6 is Ma. Ma means pause, empty space, a moment of nothing. Applied to money, it means the 24-hour rule before any unplanned purchase. You see something you want, you wait one day. If you still want it tomorrow, maybe it's worth buying. Most of the time, though, you forget about it completely. That pause alone saves people hundreds every month. Habit 7 is shokunin. Shokunin is the mindset of a craftsman, total dedication to mastery. Financially, it means investing in skills over stuff. Instead of buying the next thing, you invest that money in getting better at something. A course, a book, a certification. Things that compound, things that earn. Habit 8 is nemawashi. Nemawashi means going around the roots. Slow, deliberate preparation before a big decision. Applied to money, never make a major financial decision quickly. New car, new apartment, big investment. Sleep on it, research it, talk to someone you trust. Slow decisions almost always beat fast ones with money. Habit 9 is wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is finding beauty in imperfection, contentment in what already exists. Financially, it's the antidote to lifestyle creep. Your current life, the one you have right now, is probably enough. Most upgrades don't improve life as much as you think they will be.
Wabi-sabi reminds you of that before you swipe the card. Habit 10 is gaman. Gaman means quiet endurance, bearing difficulty with dignity and patience. No drama, no complaints, just steady. Applied to money, it means staying the course when investing feels boring, when saving feels slow, when progress feels invisible. Because the people who stay steady always win over the people who chase excitement. Always. Here's what I really want you to sit with. None of these 10 habits are complicated. None of them require a financial advisor, a new app, or a bigger income. They require something harder than all of that: consistency. Because here's the honest truth about wealth: it doesn't get built in a moment. It gets built in thousands of small moments you barely remember. The lunch you made instead of bought.
The subscription you canceled. The purchase you waited 24 hours on and then didn't make. None of those feel significant at the time. But here's the math that changes everything. Say you find $300 a month from applying even 3 or 4 of these habits. Untracked spending you clean up. Subscriptions you cancel. Upgrades you skip. $300 a month. Invested consistently at 7% return over 20 years, that's over $147,000. $147,000 for money you were already spending on things you barely remember buying. That number is sitting inside your current lifestyle right now. Most people just can't see it yet. And that's the whole point of every single habit on this list. They don't create money out of thin air. They make the invisible visible. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, let's land this. 10 habits, 10 Japanese concepts that quietly build wealth over time. Kakeibo makes your money visible on paper every month. Mottainai makes waste feel wrong, naturally, without forcing it. Kaizen means small, consistent improvement beats dramatic, unsustainable change. Ikigai keeps your spending connected to actual purpose. Hara Hachibu means stop upgrading at 80% satisfied. Ma means pause before any unplanned purchase. Shokunin means invest in skills over stuff. Nemawashi means slow down every big financial decision. Wabi-sabi means your current life is probably already enough. And gamen means stay steady when progress feels slow. None of these are complicated, but applied together consistently over years, they build something most people only dream about: quiet wealth. Look, I'm not going to tell you these habits will transform your finances overnight. They won't. But here's what I know for certain. The people who start small and stay consistent always end up somewhere better than where they started. Always. So, maybe this week, just start with one. Pick Kakeibo, grab a notebook, spend 15 minutes with your money. See what you find. You might be surprised how much is already there, just waiting to be noticed. And if you want more videos like this, the quiet, unglamorous, actually works side of personal finance, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it genuinely helps this channel keep going. All right, that's it for today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.